Hello everyone, welcome to What's in Your Bag. I am Melissa New and my co-host for the day,
Hello.
Mr. Chase Reynolds with LensRentals.com. How's it going?
Doing good.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you too.
And to my stage left is Brian Smith. How's it going?
Are we doing the British accents the whole time, or are we going to move
You
right
win.
on? I mean,
It's like we just,
just
yours
because
is
you
way better than mine.
But this is the soccer ride, so
You've got the good London, gibberish. So Brian is a very talented portrait photographer.
Cool.
And I think it'd be interesting to just kind of do some geek talk and find out
okay.
what you're
Geek
go-to.
away.
Let's geek away. Well, Chase is kind of expertise in geek. So
I geek off every once in a while.
Yeah,
Sure.
he's at Lens Rentals. He has a whole bunch of geek stuff he can play with.
Yeah, you guys have to have at least a dozen cameras and as many lenses by
At
now,
least
right?
a
14
dozen.
now. Yeah, make it 15 by the end of the year. We'll see what
So
happens.
but you're also a portrait photographer. So what do you have for Mr. Brian? Brian and I chat all the time. So what?
Well, I'm actually curious. He's got a big old bag full of stuff. I think he's brought something to show.
Santa Claus.
I have.
I guess the first question would be, what's your workhorse gear? Like, what's the stuff that you go to every single day that is just your bread and butter? You can rely on it. It's just what's how you get paid essentially. What's
Sure.
that gear for you?
Well, I use two different Sony systems. I use a conventional, or slightly smaller than conventional DSLR, the Alpha 99, which is a nice lightweight for DSLR size. But what I've really gotten into lately is their mirrorless. So ever since the A7R and A7 came out,
That's right.
those have been, it's kind of a case, it's like, well, do we want the big camera or the smaller camera with the finer resolution?
Did you bring it? Do you have that
we
in your
brought
Santa Claus
that.
bag?
So like the Santa Claus bag would usually have a couple bodies in here. So we have one body
can I
just
see
straight
this?
away right there.
Okay.
With like if I had to pick one lens to work with for portraits, that's it. It's 24-70 because for me it's like a lot of times with a portrait, it's not necessarily just a tight face. I want to have a little bit of the environment around the person. So 24 millimeters, a horizontal environmental shot, portrait shot of somebody is just perfect. It still keeps it fairly flat where you're not getting a lot of distortion, but you can zoom to 70, and really that's one of my favorite focal lengths for coming in tight as a portrait on somebody. I think traditionally people think of the 85, 100, 135, and actually I think 70 millimeters is beautiful. You're a little bit closer.
Sure.
You're about this distance.
More
like
personal.
We're having a conversation
Okay.
instead of Mike Myersing it like, hey, you're looking beautiful over there. Keep it going, baby. So I always think like just being able to chat quietly with the subject is perfect. So like to me that's the go-to lens.
Is
if
it?
I'm only traveling with one lens, it's
So
like
right here, the
typically,
Zeiss
yeah. Well,
24-70?
this is the FE Zeiss. It's made specifically for the mirrorless camera, so it's a lighter. It's an f4 body, so it's full frame, but it's lighter, great for travel, as opposed to the 2.8 Zeiss that I use with my Alpha 99, which is like an unbelievably awesome lens, but it also weighs about a good pound and a half, so it's a big, heavy lens that at the end of the day, walking around, you appreciate this a lot.
Brian, where can we see your work?
I'm on briansmith.com is the website. They can dig around there. There's sections for books, gear. There's a blog. Hopefully everything people are looking for, we've got some of that on there. And on Twitter at Brian Smith Photo.